Camera, action! Welcome to the world of everything goes. Thanks to the EU and the Culture Fund's Creative Actions 2 project, my dreams took flight. I now have the state-of-the-art cinematographic gear, and more importantly, I took other incredible women like me along this journey, where I'm training them. Cut! I am thriving. I am empowered.
Pick Pink and help TM Pick and Pay support breast cancer awareness. This time check is brought to you by TM Pick and Pay.
We are broadcasting live from our Provincial studios right here in Highlands, Harare. My name is Zain Jamu, and welcome to the main news. And of course, as always, it's a lovely evening, Joyce.
Well, it's a lovely evening to you, Zain. A warm welcome once again to our viewers. My name is Joyce Mabika. Peaceway Munyika is on sign language.
And of course, later on, Arthur Evans will be joining us from our Montrose studios. But we kick off this bulletin with the headlines.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa pledges to capacitate the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum.
The forum is seeking an apology and compensation from former colonizer Britain.
5 people die in an accident along the Harare-Bulawayo Highway early this Thursday.
In business, Zimbabwe's horticulture industry is targeting $1 billion United States dollars by 2030.
Now leading sports story tonight, football stakeholders speak out on candidates to take charge at the Zimbabwe Football Association.
And now for the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has pledged to capacitate the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum that is seeking an apology and reparations from former colonial power Britain.
He was speaking during an engagement with the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum at the State House in Harare this Thursday. We get more from our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe.
Talking of demanding justice to all Zimbabweans, to the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, is like preaching to the converted. His family's experience and his own personal experience in colonial Rhodesia informs one that this is justice delayed. He informed the members of the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum that the clarity of their vision and mission will be supported by his government.
It is therefore pleasing that the forum intends to go further and comprehensively document the untold story of the injustices, the trauma and the loss of lives and livelihoods experienced by our indigenous black people due to colonial land appropriation and the forced movements. The proposed study, as I am reliably informed, will put forward recommendations that will explore options to assist in the long-term healing.
President Mnangagwa said his generation and those gone went to their graves bearing physical and psychological scars perpetrated by a racist colonial power.
Those of my age, most of my colleagues in my category of age, went through very difficult and cruel imprisonment, 10, 15 years in prison here, by these, the personal criminals, by these British oppressors. We still bear the scars and the associated trauma from that type of violence. Even in the quest for freedom and self-determination in both the first and second Chimurenga, our efforts were considered criminal and treated as such when we sought freedom.
He said, time has come for an apology and reparation for the suffering endured by Zimbabweans during colonial rule.
The time has come for us to engage our as well former colonial power objectively and astutely, seeking the much delayed yet important post-colonial gesture of reparations, restorations, and much needed apology and reconciliation. It is the colonial power that should have compensated Zimbabwe first, and Zimbabwe then using part of the compensation for the reparations to compensate the former white farmers for improvements.
The fully subscribed meeting at State House is going to get information from other jurisdictions where the United Kingdom is being challenged to pray for the colonial past injustices. You talk of the Samoa Commonwealth Summit currently going on, the Diego Garcia that is back in Mauritius jurisdiction, and people demanding reparations, to mention but a few. Ruben Barwes, ZBC News, Harare.
In a related development, several members of the Zimbabwe National Elders Forum have concurred on the need for Britain to apologize for her misdeeds during the colonial period.
3 years ago, elderly Zimbabweans, from the traditional leaders to the clergy, academia, retired civil servants, business people, all welcomed the Zimbabwean government's move to compensate white farmers whose improvements on the newly resettled farms. But after a second thought, they said, wait, yes, this is a noble idea. But what about the 90 years of dehumanization? 90 years of brutal killings, of expropriation of their land, of dispossession of all what made them people. The Elders Forum, led by Dr. Felix Mkonoengwe, speaks on their mission.
We want to tell the world that these people, they must be compensated. Somehow, they must be compensated. There was traumatization. Yeah, people were killed. Like people will be moved from their arable lands and sent to Gokwe. And they'll be devoured by lions. The whole family will be devoured by lions overnight.
Several other speakers, including Kenyan Ambassador Madame Josephina Awo, spoke on the issue of correcting past wrongs by the former colonizers.
In 2013, the British government finally agreed to pay a total of British pounds, that is 19.9 million British pounds, to over 500 elderly Kenyans who suffered torture and abuse under the colonial administration during the Mau Mau uprising as compensation and cost, being full and final settlements for the abuses suffered. The Kenyan case provides us with important lessons to take home. The lessons from the Mau Mau compensation case are numerous and provide insight for governments and international institutions dealing with the legacy of colonial era human rights abuses. First, the Kenyan compensation case underscores the importance of acknowledging and addressing historical injustices.
We must move swiftly in its implementation. Delays could invite counter-revolutionary elements that may distort and weaken the values and virtues of this important initiative.
The National Elders Forum should be congratulated for their zeal and commitment to come up with a vision, working together as a team of diverse and distinguished elders.
The forum is expected to produce papers, travel to the capitals of former colonial powers, and engage them at a people-to-people level. Germany has already apologized to the Namibian people for their excesses of their 19th century rule. The British have already apologized to the Kenyan people and are paying some reparations to the survivors of the Mau Mau uprising of the 1950s. And it is now time for Zimbabwe's turn to also demand justice and reparation from the British, according to the forum. Ruben Barwa, ZBC News, Harare.
The Chirinda family has expressed gratitude to President Emmerson Mnangagwa and the ruling ZANU-PF party for conferring national hero status on one of their own, Comrade Jason Chirinda.
ZANU-PF National Political Commissar Comrade Nyaradzi Machacha visited Katanya Farm in Matepa Tepa Wednesday night to deliver the message of conferment of national hero status of Comrade Jason Chirinda to his family.
Politburo yawirirana kuti aiwa zveshuwa mabasa akanaka anotaura ega, uyu murume anokodzera kuitwa gamba renyika. Saka ndiyo message yatatumwa na President.
Mashonaland Central Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Christopher Magomo, and ZANU-PF Politburo member Comrade Kenneth Musani, who accompanied Comrade Machacha, also conveyed condolences to the Chirinda family.
Ndinoda kutenda zvikuru His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, ne-conferment hero status kuna Comrade Chirinda.
Ndinoda kuti ndisimudze kutenda kwangu kukuru kuna President wedu Comrade Mnangagwa nePolitburo members dzese dzinenge dziripo. Hatina kumboona dambudziko Comrade Magomo. Tarerukirwa nenyaya yese because Politburo yese yabvumirana.
Family spokesperson Mr. Davren Chirinda thanked President Mnangagwa and the ruling party for conferring their loved one national hero status, highlighting it was Comrade Chirinda's long-standing wish to be interred at the national shrine.
Tose tatenderana nazo kuti mukoma wangu anochengetwa kana kunoradzikwa kuHeroes Acre.
Comrade Chirinda is set to be buried at the National Heroes Acre in Harare on Monday. He is survived by his wife and 6 children. Mourners are gathered at Plot 39 Katanya Farm in Matepatepa. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Pindura.
Vice President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga has implored judges on the continent to put in place provisions that promote and preserve human rights and dignity. He was addressing delegates during the official opening of the 7th Congress of the Conference of Constitutional Jurisdictions of Africa in Victoria Falls this Thursday. Let's get more from the following report.
For Zimbabwe to become an empowered and prosperous upper middle income society by 2030, there is recognition that the economic success of the nation is instrumental in the full realization of the enjoyment of human rights and in preserving the dignity of the citizens.
The expectation, therefore, as you debate this theme in the next 2 days, is that you must explore on the best and most effective methods and ways that should be used by the courts to uphold and enforce fundamental human rights and freedoms in general and human dignity in particular.
The African Union concurred with Vice President Chiwenga and called for an end to conflicts in Africa.
Human dignity is a core societal value as it permeates the tapestry of constitutional governance and the rule of law, and is universally recognized as an indispensable and supreme value for constitutionalism, democracy, and the protection of fundamental rights and freedoms.
Government believes the choice of Zimbabwe to host the Congress is an endorsement of Zimbabwe's judiciary sector as a beacon for the continent.
We are glad that you elected to come to Zimbabwe, a country which is a constitutional democracy, which respects the rule of law. This is a vote of confidence in this jurisdiction at large and our judiciary in particular.
Attended by judges from over 40 countries, the Congress is a platform to advance Africa's commitment to the respect for human rights as an aspect of constitutional democracy. The Congress is also being attended by representatives of countries and international organizations outside the African continent, including Albania, Austria, Turkey, and Russia. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Vice President Kembo Mohadi says Zimbabwe is set to be a regional, continental, and even global powerhouse in the arts if lessons from the 60th Venice Biennale International Art Exhibition are implemented.
The 2024 60th edition of the Venice Biennale International Art Exhibition has been rated highly by Vice President Comrade Kembo Moadi, who had a 3-day tour of the exhibition. The delegation concluded its tour of duty by viewing the works of Shalom Kufakwatenzi, a visit at the South African, Benin and Senegal pavilions with a view to get a deeper understanding as these countries have similar structures back home. Vice President Moadi said the visit to Venice was an eye-opener and Zimbabwe is poised to become a powerhouse in the arts sector.
What I've realized that there are quite a number of things that we take for granted back home, which can actually be put into an expression through art. So we need, when we go home, the ministry responsible. I'm happy I've got the deputy minister here. We look at those things so that we become a powerhouse when it comes to the art.
Comrade Mohadi said the artifacts bridge gaps between generations, hence the need to bring such exhibitions home. Zimbabwe Pavilion Commissioner Rafael Chukukwa said the 2024 edition of the Venice Biennale International Art Exhibition has been a milestone for the country's artists.
The visit by the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe to the 60th Venice Biennale, it really inspires a lot to us as curators, museum directors, as cultural workers, because it's something that has happened for the first time.
A number of lessons have been drawn from this year's international exhibition, which will be critical in shaping the future of the arts sector. They came, they saw, and they took lessons, which they are set to implement back home in terms of setting up a similar structure to ensure they entice young people to believe in the arts industry. Bruce Chawanda, CBC News, Venice.
Well, on a very sad note, 5 people died while 6 others were injured along the Harare-Bulawayo highway when a commuter omnibus collided with a fuel tanker this Thursday morning.
The fatal accident, which occurred at around 5 a.m. this Thursday morning along the Harare-Bulawayo Road at the traffic-controlled intersection of First Street and Bulawayo Road in Kwadzana 7, has left the community in shock.
Saka ndira kufara nazvo ngatikoshesei vabereki ngatifambei nevabereki zvakanaka.
Mwana uya abuda mukwadzana ku7 achitarisa kuda kuona asvika amai vake varipo vanga vashaya zvinova zvinhu zvese izvozvo zvatirwadza.
Vane makombi ngatifambe mune zvakanaka maintersections torega kukatawo matraki because mune kombi akata traki ndokusvika chinorohwa vanhu vazonobuda nekukandwa nepamawindo zvinhu zvama dzangu kutaura zvinonzi rufu na rufu.
Zimbabwe Republic Police spokesperson Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed the accident.
It is disturbing that the combi driver did not comply with road rules and regulations, and we are currently trying to establish the number of passengers, the number of people who were in the bus, in the combi, because so far we've identified 11 people. And it appears the combi had more people. And we are upheld by the manner in which combi drivers are behaving on the roads. It's a time that the owners self-introspect. It's a time the owners take seriously the issue of the safety of people who will be boarding their vehicles.
The Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development is working on new regulations to raise the age limit for public service vehicle drivers to 30 years and above. The move is set to tackle the rising number of road traffic accidents and fatalities likely contributed to reckless driving. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare. Let us take it easy on the roads, especially now that the rains are upon us. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's National Gender-Based Violence Call Center number 575 has received several reports of rampant child sexual exploitation and social vices among children in Epworth.
In 2021, the First Lady launched the National Gender-Based Violence Call Center with a dedicated hotline number 575 to provide support and refuge to survivors of abuse. The call center operates 24/7, offering a safe space for individuals to report cases of abuse and receive immediate assistance. And recently, the center successfully rescued a grade 7 girl from an early marriage in Nyanga. Gender-based violence, drug and substance abuse, early child marriages are some of the issues the office is dealing with. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's National Gender-Based Violence Call Center, continues to unearth numerous social vices that are currently bedeviling the society. Through the call center number 575, Dr. Mnangagwa received several calls of immoral activities at Pabusta and Pleasure Center areas in Epworth. This Thursday, the First Lady interacted with learners drawn from several schools in Epworth and surrounding areas who openly shared their personal experience at home and school. Upon her arrival, there was an electric mood with learners chanting and dancing, ready for her valuable teachings, with Amai sharing a lighter moment with the learners. The First Lady, who was accompanied by church and traditional leaders, started by having a session with the girls where she spoke about moral decadence at the popular Pabusta and Pleasure Center in Epworth. Dr. Mnangagwa, whose quest to see a better society with well-mannered people, tackled several issues including children's roles at home, premature indulgence in love relationships, and the scourge of drug abuse, with some admitting to be either passively or actively involved in these social ills.
Anofarira kutaura namai vake mwana ucharamba uri mwana anoteerera chero mai vasiri vako chero wasana naye kamugwako akakudzidzisa mubereki wako kutaura chaakuudza haana kukurasa akuvaka akuumba kuti ndisare ndiri mwana musikana akanaka asinganetse kuchikoro asinganetse kumba anodzidza nesimba kuti mangwana agova nezita rake rinonzi Nyingi wekwanhingi rakanaka rinoyemurika.
On the other hand, Harare Permanent Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. Cosmas Chiringa, together with the Chief Seke and Chief Chikwaka, led the interaction with the boys. After the end of both interaction sessions, the First Lady went on to interact with the girls, boys, and parents, who also attended Amai's valuable interactions.
Kubusta kuri kuitwei atitaurei taurai nambuya venyu nhasi.
Kuri kuitwa zvotacholaini basa ramauri akukuitwa madrugs kuri kuitwa zvokubvisa mari otora musikana unoda oenda unomuvharira.
Chiendai kuchikoro vazukuru munodzidza muvake hunhu hwenyu hwaro hwenyu kuti mangwana mugova vamiririri vezvakawanda munyika ino yeZimbabwe. Vazukuru budai mumadrugs endai kuchikoro.
She tackled several issues including bullying in schools and ill treatment being endured by children at home, sometimes due to disputes between parents.
Chaita kuti tiungane zuva ranhasi tauya kuzoti imi vana vedu mukure zvakanaka muchiita hunhu hwakanaka pamazera amuri. Vasikana mafoni auya kuofisi kwangu panhamba inoti 575 toll free number inokwanisa kufonwa nemwana wese nemunhu wese munyika yekwedu. Pangava kusava kuno kuEpworth chete but nekunzvimbo dzakapoteredza dzose munyika medu vasikana vakuungana kuita zvikwata vachibvisa vakomana hembe kuti toda kuona kuti makasikwa sei. Zvandivhundutsa ndatadza kugara muofisi. Munyika yekwedu zvitsva hazvitidi kuzvinzwa kana kuzviona zvinhu zvakadaro.
Representing traditional leaders, Chief Chikwaka applauded Dr. Mnangagwa for the initiative while sharing a disturbing incident which they unearthed during the interactions with the boys.
Tine mwana wenyu mukomana muzukuru wenyu ane 10 years ari kuitwa mukadzi nemurume mukuru. Taipa mapurisa nyaya iyoyo.
The interactions were also attended by Chief Seke, who implored the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to have a program and allow chiefs to visit and talk to school children at an agreed time. Harare Metropolitan Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. Cosmas Chiringa, who represented Harare Metropolitan Minister of State and for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Senator Charles Tawengwa, and parents rallied behind Dr. Mnangagwa's call for children to desist patronizing Pabusta and Pleasure Center.
If Harare Metropolitan Province, we feel greatly honored and privileged to be part of this gathering. Focus on ending early child marriages and drug and substance abuse. We feel blessed to have you alive.
Kubusa kwa mataura ichokwada kupfurike na 6 womukadzi mukuru nengo chatotandaniswa iko kwakuna kumira zvakanaka.
Chirongwa chana mai chakanaka ichi vabereki vari kurwa mudzimba zvakanyanyisa zvaita kuti vana vashaye nguva yekufara mumba. Saka mwana anofunga kuti ndikaenda ndikanoswera ndichitamba kona nhingi kana ndikona nhingi ndinogona kuswera ndichinakidzwa.
Passionate about preserving ubuntu and protecting youths from the scourge of drug and substance abuse, the mother of the nation is on a drive to teach moral values through a valuable Gota Nanga Inkaiwa program countrywide. Dr. Mnangagwa also personally distributed reusable sanitary ware to the girls. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe is participating in the Cross Alive Road Safety Campaign in Messina, Limpopo, province of South Africa, ahead of the busy forthcoming festive season.
The safety campaign seeks to remind motorists and road users on the importance of observing road rules. Let's get more.
Road traffic accidents usually peak during the festive season, and ahead of the busy December 2024 period, the Cross Alive Road Safety Campaign was officially marked in Messina, South Africa, by the two governments of Zimbabwe and South Africa to conscientize road users and motorists on the importance of road safety.
With this campaign, we are here to make sure that we promote road safety. That is one of the major aims of the campaign, but also one of the most important things is to make sure that the corridor is safe. So in so doing, we have to collaborate with our Zimbabwean counterparts and other colleagues from the rest of the region like Zambia and other countries. So we do this almost every year.
South Africa's Deputy Minister of Transport, Honorable Nkululeko Hlengwa, emphasized the need for collaborative efforts between the two governments to scale down on road traffic accidents, which are inflicting huge costs to the two neighboring countries' economies.
This is a collaborative effort across the three spheres of government, but above and beyond, it is a regional responsibility to ensure that there is an effective and efficient movement of passengers, goods and services along the cross-border corridors.
The campaign involved a simulation of a multi-stakeholder emergency response in the aftermath of a road traffic accident to save lives. Managing Director of the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, Munesu Mnodawafa, said his organization will work full throttle to reduce road carnage this festive season.
In the unlikely event that there is an accident on the way, the two governments, the two sides have to respond to it. It doesn't matter whether it's this side, the South African side or the Zimbabwean side, but we need to respond and save lives. That's why we carried out this joint campaign.
After the engagement, the South African delegation had the chance to tour the newly refurbished Beitbridge border post, which at peak during the festive season handles over 200 buses and more than 1,200 personal vehicles on a daily basis. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Messina.
You're watching the main news. Remember, these and more stories are available on our website. You can visit www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin. In business, Zimbabwe's horticulture industry is targeting $1 billion United States dollars by 2030.
And in sport, football stakeholders speak out on candidates to take charge at the Zimbabwe Football Association. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the world of everything, girls. Thanks to the EU and the Culture Fund's Creative Actions 2 project, my dreams took flight. I now have the state-of-the-art cinematographic gear, and more importantly, I took other incredible women like me along this journey, where I'm training them. Cut. I am thriving. I am empowered.
EcoCash gives you more. EcoCash points are our way of saying thank you for being a loyal customer. You earn points every time you use EcoCash to send money, make payments, buy airtime, or cash out. These points accumulate and can be redeemed for voice airtime, data, or SMS. You can start redeeming your points once you reach 100 points, and redemption is in multiples of hundreds. To redeem or check points balance, dial *151*7*7# today. Terms and conditions apply. EcoCash gives you more.
Steelmate Investments is your leading supplier of steel and roofing sheets for all your IBR sheets, field fence, galvanized wire, defense, barbed wire, beams, deformed bars, and so much more. Contact our head office on 0788 930 556 up to 61 or our Mbari office on 0788 930 550 up to 5. Steelmate Investments, your friend in steel.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
Guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. In a significant move to integrate and scale up mental health services nationwide, the Friendship Bench has officially handed over its mental health program to the Ministry of Health and Childcare.
Since 2006, the Friendship Bench has equipped community health workers, including grandmothers, to provide vital psychological support and counseling services to over 600,000 individuals affected by mental health issues, providing a vital lifeline to those in need.
Takaita training 2006 tikaona kuti kunonzi kuvhura pfungwa kudii tikaona patiri kuvhura munhu pfungwa munhu takwanisa kuti timusimbise.
By transferring the Friendship Bench program to the Ministry of Health and Childcare, the organization says it aims to ensure sustainable and widespread access to mental health care across the country.
I was a junior consultant working at Harare Hospital when I lost a patient of mine to suicide. That tragic story made me realize that we needed to find a way of taking evidence-based mental health out of the hospital and into the community.
So what he did is he trained our community health workers, whom we affectionately call our grandmothers, to just deliver simple talk therapy on the bench.
We do realize the government, Ministry of Health and Childcare, is a technical partner, a partner of note, because for us it's important to recognize them as a strategic partner to leverage the existing infrastructure to be able to ensure smooth handover and transition of the Friendship Bench model.
USAID, a key funder, expressed satisfaction with the program's progress.
By now we've covered all 10 provinces. We are reaching over 400,000 people across the country.
In a speech read on his behalf by Acting Chief Director, Policy and Planning, Mr. Stephen Banda, Health and Childcare Minister, Dr. Douglas Mwambeshora expressed gratitude to Professor Dixon Chibanda and his team for their tireless efforts in developing and sharing the Friendship Bench model.
This is an exciting stage given the context and demand for mental health services at both global and national levels. Nearly 1 billion people are living with mental disorders globally. Zimbabwe is not spared, as we are part of the global village. This burden of common mental disorders such as depression and anxiety among primary health care attendants ranges from 20 to 34%. This is also compounded by the drug and substance abuse.
The handover is expected to strengthen mental health care delivery, increase accessibility, and promote a comprehensive approach to addressing the country's mental health challenges while ensuring sustainability. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
You're now crossing over to our Montrose studios in Bulawayo, and other events will give us the next stretch of the bulletin. A very good evening to you, Arthur.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Government is continuing with various developmental projects across the country in line with National Development Strategy 1.
At the Mashonaland West Provincial Development Meeting held in Chinhoyi this Wednesday was an opportunity for government ministries, departments and agencies to reflect on projects achieved so far in line with the National Development Strategy 1 targets.
As Minister of Health, atichaite zvekubaya kwevana chete kana tichita ma-outreach. Taakuita inonzi integrated outreach services. Taakuenda takakwana takati vekubaya vana, vanotarisa maziso, vanotarisa anything.
Our learners are being fed. Schools collect minimum from GMB, and by October 30, Chegutu district had collected all its dues.
Government leadership in the province is satisfied with the development on the ground, with focus now geared towards implementation of the National Development Strategy 2.
We must not lose sight of the President's mantra that Nyika inovakwa neve nevayo. This therefore implies that we must leverage on our comparative advantages to upscale our provincial gross domestic product.
Through our monitoring and holding of these meetings, we are very confident that a lot has been done, or a lot is being done in terms of implementing our NDS1 and the Provincial Economic Development Plan.
The provincial meeting was part of the dictates of government's call to action policy, which enforces that everyone in their respective capacities have a role to play in national development. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinhoyi.
Bikita villages have called for increased awareness campaigns against cancer. This came out at a breast cancer screening program held in the area this Thursday.
As the Breast Cancer Awareness Month come to an end, the people of Bikita had an opportunity to be screened and educated about breast cancer. Beneficiaries of the program, including villagers and Bikita Minerals workers, applauded the initiative, calling for more awareness campaigns against cancer diseases, especially in rural communities.
Tinokurudzira mamwe madzimai kuti next time October kana ukasvika ngatiuye tiscreeniwe kuti tikurumidze kubatwa kana tawanikwa tine macells acho tinokurumidza kurapika.
I have learned today that this breast cancer is not only for women, it can also affect men.
Bikita District Medical Officer Dr. Talia Mungwari spoke about the importance of early detection of breast cancer.
SeZimbabwe tinoona kuti vakadzi vazhinji vanozoenda kuzvipatara kunotariswa nyaya dzegomarara rekensa apo rinenge ratova mumastages apfurikidza. Apa nhasi vadzidziswa nyaya dzokuti vanozvitarisa sei mazamu avo kuti vaone kuti cancer havana mapundero angaita ekensa.
Organizers of the event, Bikita Minerals Company, said the program is part of their wellness and health programs in their area of operation.
We took it upon ourselves to have an awareness throughout the month where we were educating our staff, and a step further today where we said let's invite the community to come and also learn a lot about breast cancer.
Breast cancer is among top killer diseases for women globally, hence the month of October was dedicated for cancer awareness and screening. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Bikita.
44 freedom fighters who died in Mutasa district in 1978 have been reburied at Matumba 6 National Monument, with government pledging to expedite the exhumation and reburial process across the country.
The 1978 Mapara village battle under Chief Mutasa's area in Manicaland province, which lasted 3 days and claimed the lives of 42 freedom fighters and several war collaborators, is one of the massacres inflicted by the colonial regime. 46 years later, the freedom fighters were yet to receive decent burials. This Wednesday marked the turning point of the families of the deceased as they witnessed the reburial process of 42 freedom fighters and 2 war collaborators at Matumba 6 National Monument.
Chichitiko chanhasi chakandikoshera because ndiri kuviga sekuru wangu anambobvira ndavaona taingonzwa history vakaenda kuhondo vari 3 hanzvadzi dzangu 2 naivo sekuru asi sekuru havana kudzoka.
Ndiri kungotenda Wamunangagwa ndichingoti Wamunangagwa muri uchi. Ndiri kungokutendai nezvamatitira nhasi kuti maita kuti tikwanise kuradzika baba wedu zvine chiremerera.
Vauya kuMidlands tiri vechidiki tauya kuzowitnessawo magamba achivigwa. Izvi zvine mucherechedzo wekuratidza kuti chokwadi munhu arovi.
National Chairperson of the War Veterans Association, Comrade Sifas Ncube, and Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, are convinced that the support being given by government will help to speed up the identification, verification, exhumation and reburial of freedom fighters.
Tine basa rokuti tione kuti vamwe vasati vavikwa tifambise basa iroro nekukurumidza.
It has been very easy and very really easy for us to bury Magamba Edu today because of the assistance that has come from government.
The Minister of War, Veterans and Liberation Affairs, Senator Monica Mavunga, gave assurance on government's commitment to support the reburial processes, adding that the Mapara massacre should be a reminder of the collective responsibility to defend the gains of the liberation struggle.
Let us vow to carry forward the torch lit by these fallen heroes, safeguarding the sovereignty and integrity of our nation, and keeping alive the dream for which they gave their lives.
Matumba 6 was established in 2014 and the site has been declared a national monument, with the processes to declare Chibondo in Mount Darwin and Bucha in Makoni district underway. Kenya's Chivushe, ZBC News, Mutasa.
We now take a break, but we'll be back with more news after the break. My name is Arthur Sevens for the Montrose News Desk.
EcoCash gives you more. EcoCash points are our way of saying thank you for being a loyal customer. You earn points every time you use EcoCash to send money, make payments, buy airtime or cash out. These points accumulate and can be redeemed for voice airtime, data or SMS. You can start redeeming your points once you reach 100 points, and redemption is in multiples of hundreds. To redeem or check points balance, dial *151 *7 hash today. Terms and conditions apply. EcoCash gives you more.
Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the world of everything girls. Thanks to the EU and the Culture Fund's Creative Actions 2 project, my dreams took flight. I now have the state-of-the-art cinematographic gear, and more importantly, I took other incredible women like me along this journey, where I'm training them. Cut! I am thriving, I am empowered.
Want to pay for your DSTV account or renew your DSTV subscription? Dial *151 hash to pay for your DSTV with your EcoCash USD wallet anywhere, anytime, and get connected instantly. No need to wait in a queue or ask anyone to pay for DSTV anymore. To subscribe for your DSTV package with your EcoCash USD wallet, simply dial *151 hash, select USD currency, select Make Payments, select Direct Payments, select Pay DSTV, Select Renew Subscription and you will be connected instantly. Live life the EcoCash way.
Join us for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation's annual golf tournament on November 8, 2024 at the Royal Harare Golf Course. This event celebrates partnerships and excellence, offering a day of great golf and valuable networking. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or a novice, this is your chance to showcase your skills and have fun. Don't miss out. Mark your calendars. For sponsorship opportunities and bookings, don't hesitate to get in touch with Claris on 0712 842 138. See you on the greens.
Welcome back to the main news. The government has expressed commitment to continuously improve the welfare of veterans of the liberation struggle through various projects. More from Wellington Makonese.
The Senate question and answer session resumed this Thursday with deliberations on the welfare of veterans of the liberation struggle taking center stage.
We engaged with the Minister of Agriculture in our engagement meetings to ensure that war veterans are assisted with tractors, inputs, irrigation equipment, and all other necessary items that might be needed in their agricultural practice. So, as regards inputs for the Pumbuza, we agreed with the minister that our comrades be given first priority when these inputs are being distributed.
Government revealed that the school feeding scheme will proceed while partnerships are being made to enhance welfare issues of learners.
Chekutotangisisa kuona kuti vana vapuwa ere inga witiyo yakabuya kana kuti magwere ekuti kubikwe bota kana kuti sadza. Chatakuita mukore uno tine ma-school business unit. Aya magadheni agara aripo pazvikora. Atinokurudzira kuti zvikora zvedu ngazvishande muma-school business unit munorimwe muriwo. Saka zvinobuda kumagadheni zvakaita ana marepu, ana dzagumhana, nebinzi.
Plans for renewal of various infrastructure facilities are on course.
We are making sure that the relevant amenities that are supposed to be supporting our settlements are considered or are put in place. We also have a plan for urban renewal, which will also encompass the development of our amenities. We take cognizance that these amenities are very necessary and they must be part of our settlements that we are developing.
Other issues discussed include road rehabilitation program ahead of the festive season. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
In news from beyond our borders, vote counting is underway in Botswana as the Southern African nation elects a new president, members of parliament, and local councillors.
The October 30 general elections proceeded without major incidents. The election will form the country's 13th parliament, with 61 seats in the National Assembly and 609 local council seats up for grabs. The presidential race includes incumbent President Mokgweetsi Masisi, who is seeking re-election under the ruling Botswana Democratic Party. Other candidates include Duma Boko from the Umbrella for Democratic Change, Dumelang Seleshando of the Botswana Congress Party, and Maphato Raatile of the Botswana Patriotic Front.
The race for the White House is tight between Republican candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, with less than a week before Americans cast their ballots for the next president. Reports say American voters are concerned about their economic future due to rising inflation and high living costs, no matter which candidate wins the upcoming presidential election on November 5. According to the financial services firm Bankrate, 2 out of 5 people surveyed say inflation is their top issue in this presidential election. The recent Bankrate survey also finds that many Americans have a negative view of the economy, regardless of who wins the election, with 55% believing the country is headed in the wrong direction.
Now shift our focus to business news. Zimbabwe's horticulture industry is targeting a $1 billion United States dollar sector driven by massive investments. More from Stanley James.
The Horticultural Development Council Investment Forum created a platform for the government, development partners, and the private sector towards expanding the sector value chains. It emerged that the journey to the recovery of the sector, while it has been characterized by challenges, interventions by government have resulted in the industry regaining traditional export markets, aided by massive investments by the smallholder growers, in line with the $1 billion United States dollar target by 2030.
The $1 billion target is an industry target by both government and private sector. So we went into detail about how we could reach that target, what's needed, the requirements to reach that. Obviously, it all depends on funding.
While a $1 billion United States dollar industry target is on track, production constraints continue to hinder progress, with the monetary authorities pledging to offer more incentives.
We're going to create an environment, and we continue to work hard to make sure that that environment for more investment, for greater activity, and for higher returns is created.
The outlook of the sector, however, remains positive as horticulture sector players focus on strategies to remain in business.
We have put in place a cocktail of incentives that the horticultural industry has been enjoying, but as we're approaching budget season, we've encouraged them to put together their budget paper, position papers, so that going forward we're then able to tailor-make a bespoke cocktail of measures that will allow them to enjoy the full benefits of what government has to offer.
With Zimbabwe's horticultural products such as coffee, avocado, citrus and fresh produce, among others, dominating European and Asian markets, the country stands to benefit more in terms of overall foreign currency earnings. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, from business, we jump straight into the arts, where lack of professionalism in the music industry has come under the spotlight following a number of disputes between musicians, producers and promoters over royalties.
It has become a regular occurrence in the music industry that artists and music promoters or producers clash after the production and distribution of music. The latest case being that of the rising star, Deoro Ishewe, which made rounds on social media after disclosing on a local podcast that he had not received royalties for his hit song Superstar, which has close to 5 million views on YouTube. Experts in the industry believe professionalizing music will help avoid such cases, which have seen some artists crying foul.
When you are going to distribute the music, there's always going to be some problems. So the professional thing to do and the required thing to do is to have a contract. The contract to stipulate how much percentage is given to party A and how much percentage is given to party B, and that should be done before the music is released, as soon as the music is recorded. Because once you start to talk about such issues when the song becomes a hit, you'll have a problem. So it's the same thing even when you write a song together. You are supposed to sign what is known as a split sheet.
When it comes to music production, it is very important for producers, for composers, for artists, for instrumentalists, for record label owners, and everyone who's involved in the creation of a song to know that there is something that defines their relationship, and it comes in the form of a split sheet. This is an agreement that is entered into by anyone who is going to participate in the creation of a song.
Experts also believe artists should adopt the business model of using contracts in any agreement to ensure it's clear and binding. Patience Nyagato, SABC News, Harare.
And that's our look at the arts. Taking us to a break. When we return, we get the latest in sport with Lawrence Trusida.
EcoCash gives you more. EcoCash points are our way of saying thank you for being a loyal customer. You earn points every time you use EcoCash to send money, make payments, buy airtime, or cash out. These points accumulate and can be redeemed for voice airtime, data, or SMS. You can start redeeming your points once you reach 100 points, and redemption is in multiples of hundreds. To redeem or check points balance, dial *151 *7 hash today. Terms and conditions apply. EcoCash gives you more.
Good evening once again, and thank you so much for joining us on Sports News this evening. My name is Lawrence Trusida. I'll start off with golf news coming through from the Bulawayo Golf Club, where Zimbabwe are putting in a good fight in the All Africa Golf Team Championship. Mchokozi's Dua gives us more.
After a not-so-convincing start in the first 18 rounds of day one, Zimbabwe atoned for the bad start, putting a record performance which saw the hosts leapfrog to second position behind leader South Africa. After round two, Zimbabwe had a team total of 1 over par and were 15 strokes behind South Africa. Zimbabwe carded a combined total of 213 4-strokes and were behind South Africa, who had shot 209. Zimbabwean captain Michael Wallace and Keegan Schutt had a good day in office with the pair carding under par scores. Chairperson of the local organizing committee, Stalin Masia, was confident of completing the games this Friday, despite the windy conditions affecting round 3 play.
It's day 3, game number 3. So far so good in terms of the competition from the very beginning up to now. But in terms of field play, South Africa looks like they're playing extremely well. They seem to be running away with the thing. Zimbabwe was sitting on number 2, but we hope tomorrow we'll push towards South Africa's score.
Zimbabwe has played second field to South Africa on many occasions, and with the golf playing powers, Morocco having failed to be part of this year's golf fiesta, all eyes will be on South Africa and Zimbabwe. Mtokozi Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Moving on to football news now. Stakeholders believe individuals with a strong acumen and traceable references should take over the reins at the Zimbabwe Football Association, with the elections scheduled for next year.
With 18 January 2025 just around the corner for the make or break Zimbabwe Football Association elections meant to usher in a new leadership, football stakeholders believe individuals with a traceable reference and a passion for the sport should take charge. Zimbabwe has been under a normalization committee for over a year after being readmitted into international football by World Football Governing Body FIFA following a 2-year suspension. The ZBC News went into the streets of Bulawayo to gather views from the custodians of the game.
I think first and foremost, we need someone who is very passionate about football, someone who has got knowledge about football, someone who has got links with other associations, because nowadays, if you don't have links, if you don't have anyone that maybe you know, it's very difficult for you to have a lot of support.
Abantu bale sports administration, abantu bale sport at heart, not abantu laba ukuthi bayabuya bethenga ama votes bengene kuphela office. At the end of the day siyabasimeka one place akula lapha siya khona.
Ndinokutarisira kuti munhu achapinda pazifa anga ari munhu ane soccer at heart. Tisapinda pazvigaro nokuti tinoda mari.
A key affiliate of the Zimbabwe Football Association, the Heart Women Soccer League, is close to making a decision.
Thina njenge women football sikhangele phambili ukuthi umuntu ozangena abe atshintshe ibhola labomama. Thina njengoba umama ntibeli kwazi besikhalelwa phansi kakhulu bengabi le ndaba lathi, but khona lokho ukuthi sesithole umuntu olendaba labomama was-hostela i-tournament.
Former legislator Themba Mliswa Wangu Mazodze FC owner Dr. Richard Mazodze, United Kingdom-based Marshall Gore, have openly announced that they are running for the top football office in the land. Others like current Premier Soccer League boss Farajere and Northern Region champion Martin Kweza, among others, are still being touted as potential candidates.
Staying with our football news, the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League returns to action this weekend with log leaders Simba Bora clashing with Caps United at Wazanai Stadium.
Perched at the top with the 60 points, Tunderandiraya Simba Bora, determined to claim their maiden title, cannot afford to slip up as FC Platinum, lurking 6 points behind, will pounce on any mistake. With only 4 matches remaining, the stakes are too high. Diraya's focus is now on the league title after their Chibuku Super Cup semi-final exit at the hands of Ngezi Platinum. Caps United, boasting 42 points from 11 wins, 9 draws and 10 losses, 6 to spoil Simba Bora's party. Meanwhile, Norman Mapeza's FC Platinum faces Dynamos at Rufaro Stadium on Sunday, knowing that any dropped points could prove decisive. Other Saturday matches include Tel 1 hosting Hirentos at Ascot Stadium, reigning champions Ngezi Platinum welcome Weeping Bigita Minerals at Baobab Stadium, Yada take on ZPC Kariba at the Hart Stadium, while Blair Chiefs entertain Arano Movers at Luveva Stadium. Action continues on Sunday with the Blair Giants Highlanders welcoming Greenfield at Barberfield Stadium, struggling Wange face Manika Diamonds at the Colliery Stadium, while Chegutu Pirates play Chicken Inn at Baobab Stadium. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
There's excitement in Hwange following the promotion into the Premier Soccer League of ZPC Hwange at the weekend after a 40-year wait.
Although there is uncertainty on the survival of Hwange FC in the Premier Soccer League, the people from the district are assured of top-flight football next season following the promotion of ZPC Hwange after a 40-year wait. ZPC becomes the third team from Matabele North Province after Chipangano and Cholocho to be promoted to the top flight, and locals are excited by the development.
At least takwaza kuona Dynamos changeri kuno kuti chisvasvanga, Islanders change dzichiuya chingosvasvanga. Ende tikuda kutarisira kuti kana tapinda Premier tofana kupindawo futi totora league.
ZPC Hwange are already planning for life in the top flight.
We won't carry all the players which we had in the Division 1 league. We have to beef up so that we also fight for honors. We are getting into a journey again where we have to perform and get good results. We shall also contend for the Premier League title.
As they bask in the glory of a new dawn, ZPC Hwange are reflecting on a journey that has been characterized by promotion near misses on several occasions.
In a story just received, the Director General of the Sports and Recreation Commission, Eutanengo Masha, has been suspended by the SRC board. We'll get to give you more details as we continue to hear more from what has been happening at the Sports Regulatory Body. But that's all we have for you on this edition of Sports News. It's now time for the weather.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and thank you for joining us in today's weather report and forecast. My name is Baba Maketa. It was rainy in the morning over the central and northeastern parts of the country, while the western areas were mostly sunny, hot, and humid throughout the day. The southern parts of the country were, however, cold with some drizzle in the morning, but became mild in the afternoon. Now, going into tomorrow, we're expecting some rain showers throughout the country, but these are not expected to be much in terms of amounts. Now, looking at our sky conditions in detail, we're expecting cloudy conditions today and tomorrow over the northern parts of the country, that is areas including the Mashonaland provinces as well as Midlands and Manicaland. On Saturday, these clouds should reduce a little bit, but on Sunday, we're expecting even fewer clouds, and temperatures are expected to soar to the hot category on Sunday, even into Monday. Now, looking at our temperatures in detail, we are expecting the temperatures in the morning to be slightly in the mild category, with Reburial being the lowest with 16 degrees Celsius and the highest being over Kariba, that is over the Zambezi Valley. In terms of our maximums, again, we are not expecting them to rise very much due to the cloudy conditions that are expected throughout the country, but the highest should be 37 degrees Celsius around Victoria Falls. Now, looking at our forecast in detail, for Bulawayo, we're expecting cloudy conditions, but should be hot on Monday. Matobo, cloudy conditions on Sunday, but hot throughout the week. In Rwanda, mostly sunny conditions with some windy conditions on Tuesday as well as Wednesday. In Lupane, partly cloudy conditions, but temperatures are expected to rise to as high as 40 on Monday. In Victoria Falls, partly cloudy conditions are expected, but temperatures are expected to soar to around 41 degrees Celsius. In Gweru, partly cloudy and windy conditions are expected. Kwekwe, partly cloudy conditions again are expected with some chances of rainfall. Kadoma, partly cloud conditions are expected 33 to 38 degrees Celsius in terms of temperatures. Chinoi, partly cloudy conditions and temperatures between 32 and 39 degrees Celsius. Harare, partly cloudy with some chances of showers and temperatures between 28 and 33 degrees Celsius. Kariba, partly cloudy and hot. In Masingo, partly cloudy conditions are expected again with some chances of afternoon thunder showers. In Bindura, we're expecting again partly cloudy condition with chances of rain and temperatures between 30 and 35 degrees Celsius. Marondra, partly cloudy conditions, 27 to 32 degrees Celsius in terms of temperatures. Nyanga, partly cloudy with chances of rain. Thank you, Zimbabwe. That is all from the weather desk. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Well, that caps tonight's bulletin. Guys, do you have any inspirational words to leave for the guys at home?
Well, for me, as the rains are now upon us, let's take it easy on those roads.
Definitely, and let's also remember to observe all the road regulations. Let's not be too much in a hurry.
Definitely, wise words there. Now, from the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, it's
good night.
Good night.
Good night.